Hello everyone, Bashar here. So we are going a little bit Diablo these days. So this time around I have a season journey video for you, right? I would normally do this for Diablo 3, but times are changing. So Diablo 4. So guys, what this is about is that I am going to try to help you go through the journey, and I think this season it's a little bit less unnecessary than previous seasons because they have done a really nasty job at the journey. The journey is pretty hard to complete. It takes a long time, and the game is altogether harder. So yeah, I mean it's never Path of Exile level. It's still mighty nasty though. Now, let me show you. So default hotkey for the journey is U, in case you don't remember. And from what do you get out of the journey? So guys, along with myriad cosmetics that would speak to most people, on top of that you get the smoldering ashes, which does this, right? It's beautiful. I mean, normally you would get XP, but there are no XP bonuses this time around. But you get additional obside, which is insane. You get additional chance for Belial to spawn after killing a boss. You get an additional chance of getting ancestral caches from the Tree of Whispers. Not greater, mind you, right? I was confused about that. And then you get an extra upgrade when upgrading rifts. These two are beautiful, right? And finally, we have the 20% bonus to the season reputation, which we will go later on. So you don't have to pick and choose, but you pick is which one you get first, because you get smoldering ashes over time. We'll go over it. So guys, how does it start? So this is journey step one. I'll on some background noise, sorry about that. Okay, because there is a chance of interruption at this point. The daughter was out and she's here. She might make a bit of a noise. Okay, so let's go with the easier ones first. Gather bundled herbs, gather angel breath, which is the premium herb. Craft elixir at the alchemist and upgrade your healing potion. So guys, you level a little bit and you upgrade your healing potion at 10 or 20. That's it. And when you're playing, you're going to you're going to gather herbs and angel breath. That's going to self-complete. Craft elixirs, you just go to the alchemist and craft some elixirs, whichever you like, right? It's not a big deal. Okay. So normally you want to level on normal difficulty because it's faster and easier, but this does require you to go into hard. What you can do is you can set the game to hard, get this done in Maiden or whatever it is, right? Or apparitions. This is this season's running theme, and when you complete it, you can set it back. As you can see, I have obtained this on day one, right? You can then put it back to normal, or if you feel like hard is going okay, you can stay at hard. And then there is this one. This is a bit annoying. So you do a few apparitions and get the seasonal quest, right? You complete that seasonal quest. That's it. Collect boss powers. We'll get to that. Spectral Ash. That's the seasonal currency that's required to upgrade said boss powers, right? I'm gonna get to that. This is the reputation, Unveiler's Oath. So you gain a little bit of reputation. These all come from doing apparition incursions. Defeat illusions. Illusions are the monsters that spawn during an apparition incursion. So you do a few apparition incursions, and these all will complete. And final, destroy betraying guy. So that is not the self-completing one. That's what I want to talk about first before going into the other stuff. So guys, when you go to an apparition incursion, do we have any active now? 3 minutes. That's a little bit far, but I guess I can show you. So guys, there will be a greenish platform on the ground, right? And when the apparition incursion activates, an eye spawns next to it, right? Betraying eye, and only one person gets to click on that. So at this point, it wouldn't be too much of a challenge, but day one, you don't understand what's going on, and the people that understand what's going on beeline to those and click on them immediately. That was a little bit painful. So what you have to do is click on the betraying guys when they spawn, and they are also marked on your map, with the familiar tilted square and a small triangle inside, the white icon. That's, I'm sure, maybe I have done a bad job of drawing a word picture, but the icon, you will recognize it. So you go there whenever you see those, you go to those, and as I said, because we are on day 5, 6, it's gonna be much easier. And boss powers, guys, so there are a lot of bosses in the game. Let's take a look at this. Some of these that you are familiar with. So let's go with the mid-level ones first. So let's go with the, let's just keep the order. So guys, the blue ones, the lesser ones, magic boss powers. Magic boss powers are obtained from apparition incursions. You go to the apparition incursion, right? There is a progress bar. You kill monsters to speed up that progress bar, and when that fills, Belial summons a guy, and then you beat them. And the guys that are being summoned are these: Alec, Beastmaster, Blackmailer, Flesh, Hatred's Embrace, that kind of stuff, right? And when you kill them, their power unlocks. Repeatedly killing them gives them the usual rewards, but more rewards regarding the magic boss power. And when you kill stuff in apparition incursions, and in other places as well, when you kill bosses, when you do Infernal Lords is no, I think Infernal Lords gives the reputation but doesn't drop the thing. So bosses drop these by huge amounts, right? And apparition incursions drop them. So you get them and you upgrade these powers with those, right? And the upgrade cost keeps increasing when you kill. So there are, as you can see, 10 guys that can appear from the apparition incursions, right? These are all, yes, these are all from those. The rare ones, there are the world bosses in there, Wandering, Averis, and Ashava. These are the 3 world bosses. And there are the lower tier bosses. If you watch the boss video that I uploaded before this, you'll see them there. Beast in Ice, Grigoire, Zir, Barshan, and Urivar has been added to the list. And Belial also is a... So this is the lesser form of Belial, right? You beat a lair boss, right? You beat a boss, and then he can spawn after. When you kill that form, this power will unlock, right? And then we have the premium powers, the legendary boss powers. We have Harbinger of Hatred. I have shown that to you in the previous video. This is the campaign's end boss, the expansion's end boss, right? We have Duriel, we have Andariel, we have Lilith, and in order to unlock this, you have to defeat the premium Lilith. But there is one trick to it. You can do it on Torment 1. And in Torment 1, she's very mild, right? If you can handle like Torment 3, she's gonna be okay. Make sure you pay attention to the platform breaks and the white souls in the second phase, right? The first phase will be face roll. And then we have the legendary form of Belial. I have that in the video as well. That's here. The Harbinger of Hatred is here. And Urivar is here, and you unlock those. And as I said, repeatedly killing them does not help, but their hordes will drop a lot of the Spectral Ash, so you can upgrade these powers. And as you can see, I'm kind of swimming in them. I have maxed out which one that is important to me, and I have gotten everything else to 12, just for sport. This is not as challenging as the Witchcraft season. That was terrible. Let's not get sidetracked again. Let's go back to the video. So that's the boss power. So that means you have to beat up 4 different bosses that give you the powers. And I guess I should also finish explaining this, guys. So you are going to get one of them as the main boss power, right? And 3 of them will be modifiers, right? Side boss powers, I term them. So what they do is they all have a main boss bonus, right? And they have all a modifier bonus, right? So you want to go for the thing that works best for you. So I'm playing a Whirlwind Barbarian and a channeled skill, which means this gives me literally 50% damage up, right? Which is beautiful, right? I channel the Whirlwind and then I spawn a beam. I spawn the beam and that beam hits the enemies and I deal 50% more damage to them, right? And so my single target damage is not very good, so I use this one, Lilith. There are many more. I'm not going to go into them. I'm just going to try to give an example. So when you hit something, right, and with the main boss power, we spawn a blister, right, and the blister does have 10% of the guy's life. And if you can kill the blister in 15 seconds, it deals 4% damage to the original guy. And bosses can spawn 2 of these. So what this is good for is, first of all, we don't have very good single target, but we have decent AoE, so I can actually deal the 10% in 15 seconds, and against bosses that's going to give me 8% damage, right? So if I damage the boss and the blisters by 10% each, I'm going to get 18% damage on the boss, which is great, right? Helps with crits as well, and more importantly, which is something I'm going to get into my build video, I do like having enemies around because, that's how they reduce my cooldowns, right? Both chieftain aspect, and I need more enemies around, so that's why. Harbinger of Fate's value, volley. So when we activate the main boss power, we deal 30% increased vulnerable damage. And pay attention to the X, guys. That X means it's multiplicative damage. So that is literally 30% damage up, right? You calculate your entire damage, and then this gets multiplied at the end, right? Normal 30% vulnerable damage is nothing, right? It's not even going to give me 1% damage. But this is multiplicative, and the difference is there is a plus next to the additive ones, and there is a X next to the multiplicative ones, so there is that. So the basic skill, I don't cast the basic skill, but I activate my main boss power, which means this gives me a 30% damage up, right? And finally, I use this one. This is very great, right? Whenever you fortify, additionally gain 30% of the amount as barrier. So guys, normally barbarians do not have access to barrier, so this gives me a nice amount of barrier. Of course, every build utilizes a different combination, so that's about, I just want to go over it, right? There are stuff that do a lot, right? But one is main, and the 3 are modifiers. So I equip this, right? I spawn the beam, I deal 50% increased damage to them. I spawn the blisters deal 4% damage. I deal 30% increased vulnerable damage. And finally, I gain barrier as well, alongside with fortify, making me extra tanky. So again, getting sidesteps. Second part of the journey, gain power as you repel blood. So the reputation, we are going to take it to level 5. Complete 5 apparition incursions, which is the proper way to level at this point, and upgrade boss powers to rank 8 4 times. 4 different boss powers you'll have to upgrade to rank 8. I mean, apparition incursions are going to give you Spectral Ash, right? And with the Spectral Ash, you are going to upgrade your boss powers. So there's that. And by the way, guys, I didn't mention that to unlock world boss powers. Big surprise, you have to beat the world boss, but that can be frustrating because world bosses spawn once every 3.5 hours and they are not following a rotation. So for example, guys, let's say 9 a.m. you find Everest. That doesn't mean at 12:30 you are going to get something else. You can get Everest again, right? You will have to. So for example, I suffered like that because day 1 I played quite a while. We got like 3 world bosses, and it was the same world boss 3 times back to back or something like that. I couldn't get the wandering thingy for a while. It was somewhat frustrating, so you have to get. But once you unlock it, it's unlocked for your entire account for the season. So there is that. But yeah, I mean, make sure that you kill each world boss once. Salvage legendary gear at the blacksmith. That's gonna happen while leveling that you are going to get. Unlock aspects in the Codex of Power. I mean, when you're salvaging legendaries, you are going to unlock aspects. That's going to self-complete as well. Imprint aspects, that's going to be taking away a bit of gold, but you just go to the occultist and you imprint stuff. I mean, let me show you. I think I got an upgrade actually that I didn't do. So for example, you put your item in. executioner, for example. Okay. Yeah, it's a bit of an upgrade. I do it, and it takes away a bit of gold. But of course, you know, the gold cost is not going to be as much when you're leveling. So yeah, you have to do this 5 times. And as you can see, this one doesn't give anything, but in this part, you start getting smoldering ashes, right? So we have gone over this, learn magic recipes of magic to RI. So guys, when you're playing at level 10 or so, the recipes will start dropping. You will right click on them and the blacksmith will immediately learn them. So you have to wait a little bit. Temper affixes, upgrade healing potion to light healing potion. That's like level 30, I think. Let's just check it out. Light healing potion. Yeah, 30. So, that is sort of saying, reach level 30. And tampering is done at the blacksmith, guys. You go to the blacksmith, you put a legendary item. Uniques cannot be tampered, right? And you select whatever you want. But of course, every slot has some amulet, can have everything on it. And the other stuff are limited, right? For example, guys, on the boots, you can have utility and mobility. On gloves, you can have, I think, offense and utility. Yeah. On chest, you can have defensive and utility, blah, blah, right? It changes. So you have to tamper. And rare items can have 1 tamper on them. And unique items legendary items can have 2 tampers on them. And you cannot tamper unique items. And obviously, mythic items, those cannot be tampered. So, the journey also wants you to equip fully tempered gear. I mean, when you're doing the 20 tampering, this is gonna get done. Keep in mind though that the legendaries can be tempered twice, so that has to be done. And after you complete this, guys, you are going to get your first 2 smoldering ashes. I would suggest that you put them in this, right? So the reputation is extremely easy. Leave that for last. That's not very good at all. The ancestral caches are extremely rare, guys. My lifetime found, I believe, is 1, if I'm not making a mistake, right? And I had these points in all the time, right? And I did so many chests because I did the bosses for 5 whispers constantly, right? Whenever I saw a pit thingy, I did them. I did the apparition incursions with when they are rewarding 5 whispers. Yeah, I did open so many and I just got 1 ancestor, so this is a scam, right? This is, for the end game. So this is pretty good, right? I mean, you hit 60 and you start doing your runs and you get an extra glyph upgrade thingy. Again, these are mostly for end game. I would always go for the XP one first, but this season we don't have an XP one. So I would suggest, glyphs first, masterworking second, Urn of Lies third, and these 2 are a bit of a scam. I mean, this does help, but the thing is, guys, the reputation is so easily earned, right? Infernal Lords give you the reputation, bosses give you the reputation, apparition incursions give you the reputation. So I did this last, right? And even then, I opened like 10 extra bags. I mean, I have maxed the reputation, and I have opened like 20 extra bags. So, and you can also reallocate the blessings. So, for example, guys, you go for Urn of Lies, you are not happy, you remove it, right? And so on. Okay, so this gives us our first tool, right? Chapter 3. At this point, it will ask us to hit level 60. So before hitting level 60, you can only get 2 smoldering ashes, right? Rank 7 reputation, 4 boss powers upgraded to 12, right? Yeah, that's gonna go hand in hand. Then we craft a flawless gem at the jeweler. There is a gem crafting interface at the jeweler. Let me just take a look here. Okay. I mean, as you can see, flawless. It requires 1,000 only. That's gonna get handled. Not that bad. Upgrade healing potion, that's hitting level 60. Upgrade gear by adding sockets to them at the jeweler. So when you're doing this, try to use that gear that is not level 60, because I guess unless it's ancestral, it's not going to make sense. When it's ancestral, they require something scattered prisms, and they are problematic to get a hold of when you're just fresh 60. It's going to be painful, so keep in mind, just use non-ancestral gear, or if it's a good ancestral piece, of course you can. You will have like one or two of those at the beginning. Have 10 Paragon points spent. I mean, if you did the Lilith statues, I mean, you will have these instantly, and you know, reaching Paragon 10 is going to be fast. But if you haven't done the Lilith stuff, you can do them. But I think they did the skip mechanic for that as well. I think you can just select to, you know, have all of them. That's not going to be a problem. Then we have, it wants you to do the activities in the game. Complete a world event with mastery, guys. So, you know, these get triggered when you get close to them. They are marked with a orange circle. You go in them, right? You escort the spirit, blah, blah, right? And the mastery thing is not hard to pull off, right? It gives you some timer most of the time. And you have to do it before then. This is not going to be a problem. I mean, in case you get a problem with this, just reduce the difficulty once or twice, because there is no difficulty mentioned here. Defeat the world boss, you have to do these to get the world boss powers anyway. Complete the Legion event. Yeah, I mean, it provides a nice amount of materials. Just go to one, right? They appear once every half an hour or so. They are pretty fine. Obtain a cache. That should be happening, you know, all the time on its own anyway, right? Because you are going to do the apparitions, and sometimes those apparitions will be whispers, and they award 5 each. There is the world boss. There is the blah. And another method of getting bags fast, I mean, I can't show it to you right now. So there are 2 PvP areas in which they are not actually PvP, right? You have to tag yourself PvP. So you have to go to the PvP area, and then you have to tag yourself PvP. If you don't, they still can't attack you, right? Don't get worried. I was. So there are 2 whispers here only, but there is actually a third one normally. I have done it. It appears like 1.5 days every 1.5 days, and you know, there is a boss. You kill the boss, just a single boss, wide out in the open, and you kill it, and it gives you 5 grim favors, right? So, and there is another here, right? And you do them both, a free bag, you know, not literally free, but you know, very easy to get a hold of. You should do that once every 1.5 days. All right. Complete the Nightmare Dungeon. Yeah, you will be getting Nightmare Dungeon sigils until you get to 60. You know, just do one of them. Try to do one with a Whisper on it so you can get 5 more favors out. Open a torture gift during Helltides. You just go to a Helltide. You gather 75 Aberrant Cinders together, and you open a chest. That's it, right? That's going to get complete. And these all also give you a reward, as you can see, right? And on top of that, there is the Journey Step Completion Award, and the bonuses from the Smoldering Ashes are good. So you should, you know, keep doing this, right? That's why I'm doing the video. I mean, don't get to the end game and get started on that after, right? And it wants you to unlock Torment 1 by doing Tier 10 Pit. By the time you get to the end game, right, level 60, and you know, you distribute your Paragon points, all of a sudden your power level will increase up by a lot, because you'll have, like, you know, around 30 Paragon points, and you'll get a lot of matches, stats and whatnot. So this should be happening on its own, right? And when this happens, immediately move to Torment 1. Keep in mind though, in Torment you are getting penalized 250 armor and 25 resistances per Torment level, right? So for example, Torment 3 would be minus 750 armor and minus 75 resistances, right? And Torment 4 is cap. Your armor is reduced by 1,000 and your resistances are reduced by 100, but it can be achieved, not a big deal. So that gives us access to Torment 1 and finishes this step of the journey. That was chapter 3, right? Okay. Chapter 4, reach rank 9 at the reputation. You have to complete the seasonal quest, you know, because you'll be having the reputation. That's gonna get done anyway, and it will also ask you to defeat Belial. That's gonna happen as well. When you do layer bosses, he will spawn, or I think it wants you to kill the one that is tied to the seasonal journey. So that's not a problem though. I mean, maybe this counts as that. upgrade boss powers to 18, so that will start being grindy because you might have changed some boss powers, you might have shifted your build a little bit. It's going to take a little while, but they can be done. Keep in mind, as I said, bosses drop an extreme amount, right? Just torment one, group with others, and get all the spectral ash that you need. I have suffered for this. That can be done easily. Masterwork gear to rank 3 at the blacksmith. So when a piece of equipment is fully tempered, right, you can masterwork it at the blacksmith like this. I mean, all of mine are fully masterwork, but you put it here, right, and then there will be some obdusite cost and other material cost. Most of the time, the problem will be obdusite, which is found from nightmare dungeons and infernal hordes. You can get it from Undercity as well if you have a specific tribute, like this tribute of refinement. You can do these in groups for even more. Yeah, I mean, guys, in the end game, your end game will be consisting of obdusite grind if you make your character especially powerful. Okay, we were in step 4. So you masterwork everything to 3. That will require 10, 12, 20, and 30 respectively. So 60 per item. So you are equipping 10 items. It's gonna be like 600 obdusite. That's not too much. So for example, to put it into perspective, if you do a nightmare dungeon at Torment 4, you're gonna get like 1,200 obdusite out of it. And if you do an infernal hordes with a decent run, you are going to get like 5,000-6,000 obdusite from it from a single run. But of course, when you do it on Torment 1, it's going to be lower. But this is nothing to be afraid of. It's very easily handled. Then temper effects onto ancestral gear. Ancestral gear is found only in Torment, and they have 800 item level. But don't get deceived by that. So normal stuff that you find is 750, but the ancestral is 800. There is a huge power difference, right? You should use all ancestral gear, even if they are not very good. So guys, let me just go over this. So take a look at this 721, 776 lash, right? That is fully masterwork, and that's like normally 400 something, right? The actual value that I have here is somewhere in the 500s, I think. I mean, let me just hold up. Let me just show you. 182 strength, 685 life. That's of course. So guys, I want to show this. So this is a non-legendary, non-ancestral item. Take a look at the amount of life it has. 244 to 272, right? And let me find, take a look at this. The 800 ones roll 457. 457, guys, versus 272, right? It's close to doubling up. So that's why you want ancestral items everywhere. Okay. So, you have to temper stuff on your ancestral items 16 times. This is going to happen naturally as well, but you can also, of course, force it. And you can repeatedly temper as well if you want to get it done quick. I mean, guys, so when you temper, there will be multiple alternatives, and you would not be getting what you want. So, for example, guys, when you you want earthquake size, right? Let me just show you. Temper. Okay, guys, weapons. Take a look at this. So guys, chance for earthquakes to cast twice. Right? That's what I want. But as you can see, there are 2 things that I don't want there, right? And that's a good scenario. Take a look at these 4 alternatives, right? Take a look at this. So there are ones with 5 alternatives as well. 3 is very nice, 4 is average, and sometimes there are 5. And so it can be a problem to hit what you want. So you have to repeatedly do it. And the cost is not a problem. The amount of tempers on an item is limited, right? I mean, if you get very unlucky and repeatedly miss what you want, then you could not, and this is termed bricking. Hopefully it never happens to you, but you can get a lot of temper tries on a single item, and you can restore the temper charges on an item just once from a scroll of restoration. Yeah, that gives you additional, but it only works once, so you can't infinitely do it to get the temper that you want, right? So guys, for example, you get something that you want, but on the lower end, you have to think twice before you do it. Take a look at this, guys. My chance to cast Earthquake twice can be 78%, but I don't dare redoing it because, you know, I could just fail to get it, right? Or I could get 60%. So I have to be content with this, right? This is the grindy and annoying part of Diablo. Let's go back to the journey. This video is, oh god, 30 minutes already. Okay, I'm just explaining a little bit too much. You unlock your Paragon board, you invest in magic points, you invest in rare points, and you get a legendary node. In the first table, you won't have any legendary nodes, but the 4 that you attach later, you can have 5 boards, and there is the initial one, so you can attach 4 boards. The 4 boards will all have a legendary node, and you should of course be attaching legendary, you should be attaching boards that you want to go for the legendary node on, and have a 50 Paragon points spent. These are just going to complete naturally. So guys, let me just show you. I mean, this is a legendary node, this is a rare node, this is a magic node, these are normal nodes, right? And I have spent at this point 240 points or something because you have a little bonus from Lilith thingies. Okay, chapter 4. And this keeps us giving more smoldering ashes, as you can see. It's done with. We pushed the pit a little bit further. So we did tier 10 and unlock Torment 1. Now we are going to do tier 25 and unlock Torment 2, and also it asks us to upgrade the glyph to 15. Last time around, I think it was asking us to upgrade to 10. We will have 5 glyphs to put in, right? 5 Paragon boards, and therefore 5 glyphs, and you can upgrade your glyphs from the pit. Your chances of upgrading will be based on the difference of the level of the pit and your glyphs level. I do have videos on this stuff, right? You can watch them if you want. Okay, and so it wants us to beat up the layer bosses. These are the easy basic ones: Varshan, Beast and Ice, Grigor, and Zir. They are marked on the map, and you can teleport to them, as I said in the video, right? That is a new thing for this season. It's beautiful, and you do not require any materials. So guys, don't be panicked, right? And these have to be fought on Torment 1 at least. They wouldn't appear on your maps on lower difficulties. You should be able to handle them at Torment 1, and if you can't, just make a group for it, or join someone else's group or make your own group. That's going to be done, and we will be completing this stage. Now we have the chapters with names instead of numbers. We have Slayer, Champion, and Destroyer. Let's get to Slayer, level 12 reputation. Collect 6,666 Spectral Ash, and max out 4 boss powers. These are roughly going to happen at the same time, right? So this is a bit of a grind. There is nothing to be done. It wants you to complete tier 40 pit, which will unlock Torment 3, and also it wants you to get your glyph, a glyph of yours to level 25. And keep in mind that the radius of the glyph will increase once on tier 15, rank 15, and another time on 45, and at 45 to 46 it will also become legendary, which means it will be unlocking a legendary power as well. I'll just show you here. So for example, as you can see, this is low level and it doesn't have the additional bonus and the legendary bonus. This one is 15, so it has the additional bonus, right? I have to put it in. There is a condition to it, and it doesn't have the legendary bonus. These just have it all. They have the additional bonuses and legendary bonuses, and obviously you want to use everything there, right? You want to make good use of the regular bonus, additional bonus, and legendary bonus all. Okay, we were taking a look at Slayer. So it wants you to kill the harder bosses, but this time around it asks you to do them on Torment 2. So this will be somewhat challenging. You could do a group for this, or you could, move on to Torment 3, right? Get a little bit stronger and then reduce difficulty and come back and kill these on Torment 2, whatever works. Yeah, this means keep doing apparition incursions, right? So it wants you to find and kill 6 of the mini bosses that appear in apparitions. You just go to apparitions until you get all of these done. Find the unique gear. So these are, guys, nondescript ones. These do not belong to a specific class. They can drop from all bosses or something like that. So you just keep doing the bosses and it's going to complete, right? They drop from the layer bosses. Okay, it's starting to get a little bit serious now. It also awards a pet, and at this point we are racking up our smoldering ashes, and we should have completed this one and working towards the Urn of Lies. Okay, rank 16 reputation, and reputation caps at 18, and wants you to kill Belial. I think it wants you to kill the layer boss version. We'll tell about here. Yeah, I think it wants that, the layer boss one, but on Torment 3 this time. This could require a group for sure, or you should be making sure that you are okay in Torment 4 and then come back and do this, right? It wants some Helltide activities. These are special chests. There is only one of in each Helltide area, but Helltides generally go over 2 areas, so in the neighboring area there will be one more. These take a whopping 250 cinders to open, so you will have to open 5 of these over time, right? You will have to defeat the maiden 5 times. That can just be spam as long as there are hearts or other people putting in the hearts. Defeat Hellborn spawned by reaching max threat level. So guys, you will be building up threat, and when the threat bar fills, it will start emptying, and by the time it empties, it will summon a Hellborn. But it doesn't have to be your Hellborn. You can, engage someone else's Hellborn, and this is going to be somewhat trivial to the next goal. The next goal says defeat monsters while at max threat level, which means you will hit max threat level and you will hit the demonic screech, and it will start emptying to bring the Hellborn to you. And in the meanwhile, every monster that you kill counts. If you're pretty lucky, this will require 4 times. Most of the time it will require 5 or 6 times. So you will have to get your threat to max, and while it's depleting, you kill monsters. Around 100 is fine. 150 or so is lucky-ish, and higher is pretty hard. So this will auto-complete because you will have to build up your threat multiple times. So there is that. And at this point, guys, we don't have to complete everything. So up until chapter 4, I think we have to complete every single objective there. But at Slayer, you have to complete like only 4 out of 5. You don't have to do them all. Right? And in Champion as well, you have to complete 4 out of 5. So you can pick something as nasty and just skip it, and you don't ever have to complete it. Right? And I'm going to give you my commendation. So in here, this will kind of autocomplete. You have to do this. You have to do this. This is going to happen eventually, but getting this done by the time you get this done is not very easy. So I would suggest leaving this one out. And if you get lucky and get this done, and this is proving troublesome, you can skip this one. In here, there is definitely one to skip. We'll go over that. So you have to do Infernal Hordes, and there are 5 bosses at the end of Infernal Hordes. It picks 3 at random and sends them at you. It wants you to kill all 5 of them. This will mean doing Infernal Hordes twice or thrice, and you have to do this anyway, so it's going to autocomplete, right? Because it's the best source for, what's the name? Obducite. And at the end of Infernal Hordes, there will be a Great Equipment chest opened for 200 either, right? And it will contain ancestral items, so you should be doing this anyway, right? This is a self-fulfilling prophecy sort of. Okay. It wants you to unlock Torment 4, right? By doing Pit 55, and also it wants you to upgrade the grip to 45, and at 45 You can upgrade them to legendary status by spending 15,000 gem fragments. I think it's amethyst all the time, something like that. Make sure that you have the gem fragments, or you will have to do one more pit run, and you can convert them to each other. In case you didn't know, there are some formulas at the Alchemist, and this is the one you skip. This is terrible. I forced to complete this. It was idiotic. Now don't be like me, don't be an idiot and skip this. So guys, craft a blacksmith cache at the blacksmith, very easy, right? There are, it requires a little bit of materials, you get this done. Salvage 99 ancestral items, that's a mighty grind, because you wanna equip them, right? And you also wanna sell them to other people so you can get gold for your build. And salvaging 99 takes a huge amount of time. I had to salvage quite a few times that had selling potential, and these are insane. They are idiotic. So completing them is idiotic, and putting them in is even more idiotic. So the thing is, guys, legendary ring caches at the jeweler require 100,000 of one gem fragment, right? So it could be any gem, right? But it has to be 100,000 from, so 100,000 emerald fragments, right? There are some other materials, but they are inconsequential. And the amulets are 150,000 each, right? And it asks you to do these thrice, right? I don't know why they are so expensive, but they are terrible. So guys, this requires you to gather 750,000 gem fragments. 100,000 of a certain gem kind 3 times, and 150,000 of a certain gem kind 3 times. And to put the matters into perspective, 100,000 is the amount of gem fragments that's required for the best gems. I believe they are called grand. And at this point, they are worth about 400 million gold, right? So, there is like 3 billion gold in there. Yeah, and I sat on mine for so long. I saved up like 850,000, and I was able to do it, very, very barely. Just skip this. And my stupidity comes from, I had finished everything. I was done with this part, but the completionist idiot in me went for this, and I did this. Moronic. Don't do it. Right? Skip this one. And on Destroyer, guys, you have to get 5 objectives out of 7. As you can see, I'm done with it, and I didn't do the last 2. Let's go over them. Open 10 torture gifts in a single hell tide in Torment 4. I did this when I was doing these, right? I had to do a lot of hell tide, and I was on Torment 4 at the time, so by the time I arrived here, this was autocomplete, right? We'll get to that. Collect 750 either in a single Infernal Hordes run on Torment 4. You should be doing this anyway, right? Because Infernal Hordes are an end game of this location, and at the end game, that's the one thing that counts, because you are going to get done with everything, right? And you will have to repeatedly masterwork your gear to get the right ones, right? So that means you will need 100,000 of Obdicite if you want to fully realize the power of your character, and that means you'll be doing many rounds, and you'll be getting much more than 750 rounds. So this is also a self-fulfilling prophecy. You should be doing this anyway, because you wanna upgrade your glyphs, complete pit tier 75 with more than 5 minutes remaining, so you have to get it done in 10 minutes. As you get stronger, this will happen, right? Okay. This is a definite skip. You can even do this one, but this is a definite skip. So guys, we talked about this. You build your threat to max, and when it's depleting, you have to kill 200 enemies. And if you recall what I said last time, that we were discussing this, killing 100-ish is normal, killing 150 is lucky, and 200 is, problematic. And the problem with this is, every time you want to try this, you will have to build up your threat to the max, and that takes a long time, right? And you try it, and you don't even have progress. So for example, guys, when you're trying a boss, at least you are learning something, right? There is nothing here, and there will be people alongside you. They could do something that you don't want, right? This is terrible. I would definitely skip this, right? You could get it done, but I would skip this. If you by some happy accident you get this done, of course, all the better. And the final 2 objectives are beating Belial, the premium version, right? The one in his layer dan, not the one that appears after the bosses. And you have to use Lilith's power for that. So this one is not that bad because Lilith's power works upon using a skill. Lilith's power is this one, right? I mean hitting an elite enemy with main boss power. Sorry, when you cast a skill, right? That's the main boss power. I mean, at least it's gonna work because the thing is, guys, the modifier skills only work when you activate your main boss skill, right? Most of them actually, not this one, for example, but most of them work. As you can see, hitting an elite enemy with main boss power, activating your main boss power. So you have to activate it. And this is going to get activated. So you are not going to get anything from your main boss power, but you are at least going to trigger your modifier. So there is that. And you have to beat Belial like that. So that means, guys, you have to be a little bit stronger than killing Belial normally. And guys, I want to not cheat in air quotes here. And I want to do this solo. You can definitely do this in a group, right? And then the drawback will be much smaller. I kind of expected them to, put the, while not in a group expression there, but they haven't. So, just go into group, right? And kill Belial while you have Lilith's main power equipped. So that's and you are gonna be done, right, with the journey. And the last one is defeat Lilith using Belial's I-beams. I would not suggest this at all, right? I tried it a little bit. Yeah, very problematic because she has a lot of one-shot mechanics, right? All the spikes, and they are not really very manageable. So guys, I went very tanky, one-shots, right? I went extremely tanky. And Belial's power gives you 50% damage reduction for 2 seconds, and with those I was able to tank one spike on, right? That's it. I mean, it goes very terrible. I mean, if I get very powerful, then maybe, but I would suggest that you skip this one. So I would suggest that you skip the beat Lilith with Belial's main power and this Hell's Fury thingy, and you still will be able to complete your journey, as you can see. So that's about it. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Maybe I made too much of a fuss of an obvious thing. Definitely a very long video, but of course I tried to give you information about stuff that I thought could prove useful to you guys, and I will see you in the next. Bye bye.